What's up, guys? I posted a feature recently on my Instagram asking you guys to ask me questions, and in today's video I'm going to answer every single one of those questions. I love this bridge. This is classic old school Riverside right here. Alright, so let's just dig right into this. Alright, Amar Amjad asked me, what was the first bike? Alright, well, the first bike I ever had that was just my own bike that I didn't have to share with my brothers was a 1974 Yamaha MX100. Alright, B. Puddin asked me, for regular street riding, do you go with the tire pressure recommended from the manufacturer, which is the max, or do you come down, or do you come just under? That depends on what kind of riding I'm doing. If I'm doing like a long freeway ride or going on a long trip, I usually stick real close to the manufacturer's suggestions. If I'm doing a canyon run with some twisties, I usually drop down about 2 pounds. Alright, Unite29Y says, Mr. Pilot, what is your favorite beer? My favorite beer is a modified Corona. It's called a Michelada. I make my own at home. What I do is I take a tall beer glass. You know what? I've lived here my whole life and I've never been up this street. Check this out. Is that a house? That is nice. So anyways, back to the questions. Wow, look at that, dude. Crazy. Alright, so what I do is I take a tall beer glass, I salt the rim with a margarita salt, then I put a little bit of ice in it, I put a little bit of the Bloody Mary mix into it, and then I fill it the rest of the way up with beer, finish it off with a lime, and it is grub. I'm not a big beer drinker. I don't really love beer that much. I'm more of a vodka tonic, Jack and Coke kind of a guy. And Rocket19 asked me, what are your plans for 2018? What's up, Rocket? I remember you from the Motovlogger meetup. 2018, I got some stuff going on, you know, primarily around my YouTube channel. At the end of each video, I'll be giving something away to you guys, like a salvage hunt. You have to go find it and just keep hammering away at my channel. But I'm also developing a product for the Aprilias. Just getting into it, and I'm pretty stoked about it, and you guys will hear about it probably in about a couple of months. I'm the kind of guy, I don't really sit still, and I'm not really content sitting still. I'm always evolving, you know, making changes to my channel, new ideas. They just come to me and I implement them. Alright, P-Tang Hua asked me, what do you do for a living? I have one of the best jobs on the planet. I've been a designer of motorcycle riding gear and advertising and websites for, about 25 years now. And that's part of the reason I have all this gear in my garage that I don't need, that I'm going to give to you guys. So yeah, I'm essentially called like a graphic / product designer. Alright, Battle of says, waffles or pancakes? I have to say I'm more of a waffle guy. It depends on my mood, but if I am eating a waffle, it's going to be covered in strawberries and whipped cream. Rap Life asked me, are you gay? Am I gay? Well, let me see. Like, yeah, I'm gay most of the time. You know, I have a good life. I'm pretty happy. I don't have a lot of reasons not to be gay, so yeah, if gay means being happy, yeah, I'm gay. Isaiah 650, are you a pilot? Well, you know, that depends on what kind of pilot you're talking about. I think everybody that rides a motorcycle is a pilot. I mean, you're piloting your motorcycle, hence Moto Pilot. Alright, Bill and Bob, do you plan to come up for the bike races at Laguna Seca this year? I have to tell you, of all the vacations I take every year, that is probably my funnest one, is riding from here up to Laguna Seca, which is about, the way we take the backcountry, it's about a 10-hour trip. We take 2 days to do it. I just love it. I love being at Laguna Seca, so you can pretty much count that I'm going to be there. Fireblade Pilot asked me, aloha from Hawaii, would you like to do a collaboration with me? Moto Pilot and Fireblade, more of a question and response type of motovlog on a certain topic. Let me know, brother. And hello, Fearless Meeks. I can't really commit to anything. I've come up with some ideas to do some collabs with some local guys, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on them, but that doesn't mean I won't. and I'll take a look into this, you know, and get back to you, Fireblade. But it's an interesting idea. I actually had the exact same idea that I came up with that I wanted to do with Muscle Biker, who also rides an Aprilia RSV4. So it's a possibility. Let's wait and see. All right, Angel asked me, what's your favorite movie? Oh man, that one is super easy. I love the movie Oblivion with Tom Cruise. Not a huge Tom Cruise fan, but the movie Oblivion is the most underrated sci-fi badass movie I've ever seen. I've probably watched it at least 8 times. So if you guys haven't seen Oblivion, man, check it out. Mikey Provolt says, what price would you put on your bike? That's a good question I never thought about. Let's do the numbers. This bike brand new is about $16,500. I've put another, God, I don't know how much in modifications, maybe $2,000 to $3,000 in modifications. Yeah, closer to $3,000. So that's about $19,500 I've got into the bike. The problem with that is you don't really get a lot of your money back when you mod a bike. So without looking at the market for what this bike is selling for right now, 2016 Aprilia RSV4, I'm guessing I would probably put a sticker price of it around in the $14,000 mark. Why you want to buy it? BLVCKUMI. I don't know what that stands for, but speed or strength? Speed all the time. Roadrunner Blower asked me if you had to pick one of each, sport bike, cruiser, adventure, what would they be? That's easy. For sport bike, I'm all about the RSV4. I could essentially have bought any bike I wanted to, and I picked this bike over any other bike. For a cruiser, I'm really liking the Indian. I think it's called the Scout Bobber. And for adventure, maybe the BMW or the Honda, what do they call it, the Africa or something like that. All right, Uprising Ninja asked me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. So let's pick this one. Are you married? Yes, and that answers the other 2 questions. So I'm not a virgin, and I don't party much because I'm married. Cafe 6 Racer. In what city do you usually ride? That depends on what day of the week it is. If it's on a weekend, it's in Riverside, California, and that's where I live. And if I'm recording during the week, then I'm riding in Irvine, California, and that's where I work. I smoke mid, not weed. Asked me, why did you start motovlogging? That is a good question. I just fell upon motovlogging about 1.5 years ago, and I started watching The Usual Suspects. That popped up in my feed, so it was like Well Terrific, Snowcat, Chase on 2 Wheels. And about 3 months after I was watching them, I was like, you know what? I love to make video. I need a reason to make videos. I think I could, you know, I think I got something to bring to the table with motovlogging, so I decided to pull the trigger. Here we are today, 1.5 years later. Okay, Full Pin Moto asked me, favorite dinosaur, and do you want to do karate in the garage? Well, I'm not much of a karate person, so no on the karate. And dinosaurs, I'm not much of a dinosaur guy, but if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Tyrannosaurus Rex, because he's about as beastly as my bike. Hitman Boykov asked me, why you never leave that cap? I think what he's meaning is, why do I never take my hat off? That's easy, because I'm always wearing a helmet and I always have bad hair. So yeah, there you go. Zulham 636, what is your favorite bike? Zulham, I answered that, the one I'm on, my RSV4. Suzuki for life, have you done any bad drugs? Well, to me, all drugs are pretty bad, so I guess the answer is no, or I guess maybe the answer is yeah. I did a little bit of weed way back in high school. Didn't really care for it, never did much of it, and never went back. Stay away from drugs, boys and girls. They lead to nothing but bad things. All right, AZ2 Kicker. Motopilot, what did you think of to get the name Motopilot? Well, I grew up being a big fan of Oakley, and Oakley had this tagline called Factory Pilot. And I love that tagline. And so I just took that, changed factory to moto, and boom, there you go. Because to me, we're all moto pilots. Everybody that rides a bike, you're a moto pilot. Oh, and if you guys are digging on my cool fingerless gloves today, that's so I can work my phone, you know. Keen Hampton 21, Motopilot, when did you start motovlogging? I think it's been about 1.5 years now. I lost track, but right around 1.5 years ago. Dylan 26, top speed you've ever gone. That's the great thing about doing track days, is you can do top speed and tell people about it without worrying about the cops coming after you. I don't exactly know exactly what it was, but it was between 175 and 180 at Fontana Speedway. And I tell you what, when you get up that speed and you're holding it there for 1/2 mile, gets pretty sketchy. Mr. McKinky, would you give up motorcycles if the missus told you no more? Well, Mr. McKinky, that will never happen because I've been on bikes my whole life, and when I met my girl, she knew there was nothing getting between me and my bikes. I don't know, man. For somebody to ask me to get off motorcycles, that's like telling me not to be who I am, and that's probably never going to happen. God, man, my bike is running hot, 213 degrees. All right, Dolvery, can you ride the H2R and let us know how it feels? I don't know anybody with an H2R. I wouldn't mind riding one. I personally think the bikes are more hype than anything. They barely have any more power than this bike right here. And this bike's $16,500 bucks, and H2Rs are what, starting at like $25,000? That's just my take on that. Eastside Design asked me, when's the next group ride? That is a great question because I've been getting it a lot lately. I plan on doing one now that we're in 2018, either sometime this month of January or sometime in February. Might even do a co-ride with GIAmoto. Stay tuned, man. When I do one, I'll announce it for sure. Alright, Eastside Design also asks, how can millennials save the motorcycle industry? Buy more motorcycles. The Really Proud American says, tutorial on the helmet. I already have one. Check my videos. Secret Armani asked me, what was your favorite bike when you saw the one you're buying? Actually, the bike I bought is my favorite bike. Pointless Toast said, would you let a life-changing injury from a motorcycle accident stop you from riding? Actually, you know what? I never thought a crash would get me to quit riding. But to tell you the truth, I rode motocross my whole life and was a professional racer for 10 years. And then after I retired, I've had some really gnarly crashes and I've broken a lot of bones, and I always kept riding. But when I had a really bad crash where I basically injured my neck and broke a bunch of bones, that was too close to put me into a wheelchair, and I go, you know what, that's it, I'm not riding motocross no more. That was a little over 2 years ago, and I haven't gone back yet. So if I get the itch, I'll go back. If I don't, I won't. Oh shit, what the hell just happened? Not out of gas. Wow, that was weird. How do you deal with that helmet? I bet that birch is loud as fuck. No, helmet's great. Love it. The Baby Randy, where in the USA can I get a stationary wheelie practice dyno box thingy? Well, hey, Baby Randy, I just saw a Facebook post about that same device, and I didn't really check it out close enough, so I really couldn't tell you, buddy. Google that sucker. All right, last question. Diesel Hamster, what was your worst bike experience? Well, Hamster, that was essentially the that big crash I was just telling you guys about. It was such a... Let me tell you about the crash real quick. I was doing a long stand-up wheelie up a dirt fire road, and the fire road had like a turn in it, and when I leaned for the turn, the back wheel caught a small rut and it pitched me sideways off the road, and I hit a dirt mound about maybe 4 feet tall at about 45 miles an hour. So you can imagine the carnage after that. So basically I got pitched straight up in the air, landed really hard on my head, cracked my neck, injured a bunch of cartilage in my neck, broke some ribs, knocked out some teeth, and it scared the crap out of me, man. I was like, that could have been bad. So yeah, I hung on my moto boots, and I'm done with it. Alright guys, this video is getting very long. I'm going to wrap it up here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Catch ya next video.